Matters What We Believe by Sophia Lyon-Fawes. I'll read the plain text, and I'll invite you to read the italics. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged.
Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way into higher and deeper sympathies.
Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days and fears of unknown calamities.
Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness.
Some beliefs are divisive, separating saved from unsaved, friends from enemies.
Other beliefs are bonds in a world community where sincere differences unify the pattern.
Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction.
Other beliefs are like gateways opening wide vistas for exploration.
Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness.
Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth.
Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world.
Other beliefs are pliable, like a young sapling, ever growing with the outward thrust of life.
I know there was some binary thinking there on beliefs. Did you find yourself called towards one or the other? All right, so we are here in this place to affirm that life-giving, that loving, that positive way of believing. Today we're thinking about how it is we come by our beliefs and what we do with them, and what they call us to be in the world. We're glad that you at least had one belief this morning. Everyone shares a belief this morning. How, in a room full of Unitarian Universalists, we can say everybody shares the same belief this morning. We hope. And that's that you showed up here to create this community, hoping to find something, to be with other people, to create together this space and time together. You all believed in something. We don't know what it is yet, but we're hopeful that we can create it together on this morning. So we're glad that you are here. We welcome you, no matter your resources, where you live, what you eat in the morning, your diet. We welcome you no matter the color of your skin, your sexual orientation, or your gender identity. We welcome you no matter your age. We welcome you no matter your life story. We welcome you, we welcome you, we welcome you. Let us begin by singing this morning. Let's do this in two. We've been doing it in two, but you're coming up here. Let's do it in three. Yeah, all right. So we'll sing it all three together. Twice. Let's sing all three together twice. And then we'll split into Joel's group, the middle group, and then this group by the window. And there's that bottom death camp part. So you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Whoever feels so called to do that part, just jump in. Whoever feels like you've broken your vows 1,000 times and needs some redemption on that. Wait, hold on, that might have us all singing. Right? So just do it sparingly. All right. Yeah, please stand.
Come, whoever you
Though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows, come again, come yet again, come.
Good morning. Our child's writing today comes from Leah Derlin Jones. As we light this flame, we remember friends and loved ones, near and far, and we give thanks. As the fire burns brightly, we open our minds and hearts to new ways of being, and we feel alive. As the room grows with warmth and kindness, we extend our circle ever wider to welcome those who want to come in, and we know love.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth. And it is time for our Time for All Ages. So if you are young or young at heart, we invite you to find your way to the rug.
Good morning, y'all. How's it going? Good? Good. Thumbs up. Some shaky thumbs up. All right. I got a story for you. It's about a Unitarian minister named Theodore Parker. He was a Unitarian minister in the mid-1800s, so a long time ago. And Unitarian Universalism as a religion looked very different back then. And he was one of the ministers in his mid-career who really challenged the congregations to think, what is the role of a congregation in a church? What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to tell us what to believe? Just what to believe, and we just got to accept it? Or is our congregational life something bigger? Like we gather to explore those truths with each other. He thought the second, and that's, as you can tell, we kind of leaned that direction over the last 150 years. And so this is a story about his ministering days. This is a story when he was about your all's age. He was out walking in the woods, and as people do when they walk in the woods, he picked up a stick. You ever pick up a stick when you're walking outside and swoosh it around, right? Just swooshing it and playing it and I don't know, it was a beautiful day, and the sun was out, and he was, kind of thwacking it through the grass, and he was, my guess is maybe pretending it like it's a sword, I don't know. But he's doing this, and all of a sudden, he sees this turtle in the grass. Now, things worked back then kind of like they do sometimes now, where there are people who might have bullying behaviors that seem like they have like a lot of power or strength or something like that, and sometimes people want to be like them, and without thinking about it, he had seen other kids take sticks and thwack animals, not being very thoughtful or kind to them. He had seen them do this. And, he was just a kid, and sometimes adults do it too. Sometimes kids do it. You copycat things if you see somebody doing something. You might not even think about it. You're like, you just do something because you saw someone do it. And so that's what he did. He saw that turtle, and he had seen other kids kind of thwack animals. And he took his stick, and he raised it above his head, and he looked at that turtle, and right before he was going to thwack it, right before that, something in his head said, "No, Theodore, don't do that. That's not kind to that turtle. That's not who you are." So he put the stick down, and he felt a little bad because that was a close call, right? And he got the turtle, and he apologized to the turtle, and then he went home, kind of shaken, and told his mom all about this story. And his mom said, "Oh, Theodore, that voice inside your head is very, very important. That voice inside your head is called your conscience. And that's what helps guide you in life towards love and peace and being friendly." And so Theodore had that moment in his day to look back on, to remember, to always think about those beliefs inside his head and how those made him act in the world. Do you all believe anything? What do you believe in? What do you think? Do you have any beliefs? Yep. Bullying is bad. Yep.
Don't be mean to other people.
Don't be mean to other people. Yep. Turtles are cute. And by extension, should not be thwacked. Yep. Yep. Jackson?
Trees are important.
Trees are important. Yes. And funny. These are all great beliefs. Any a couple more? These are so good. Yeah. You're what? You're a ranger? Believe in that. Yeah. That's right. Be realistic. A junior ranger at this point. Perhaps later to progress into a ranger. How about one more? Any other beliefs? These are so good. Yeah. I think everybody's important. Wow. Well, you all want to just stick around and do the rest of the service, maybe preach the sermon for me? I can't do any better than that. Well, here's the thing. You all, those are such good beliefs. I wonder where they came from. Do you think maybe your parents or someone who you live with or that cares for you might have helped you with figuring out those beliefs? Yeah?
I think that if you have a belief that turtles are cute, that maybe seeing cute turtles might have brought that about.
Singing about cute turtles might have brought you, so maybe you know. Seeing cute turtles. That's right. That's exactly the things we experience in life. Yeah.
I think Unitarian is a great place.
You think what?
Unitarian is a great place.
Oh, I think Unitarian is a great place. Well, fantastic segue into the fact that we try and help people with their beliefs sometimes too, right? And one of the reasons we're confident of that is because the beliefs that we gather around are things like love and fairness and kindness and peace and curiosity and play and fun. All these things are beliefs that we try and create together here, and we help each other in doing that. So thank you for helping us in doing that. And I wonder if you're going to religious exploration to do some of this stuff today.
I think so.
Yeah.
We are going to go explore our beliefs and how we got them. more today in RE. But I do want to let you know that today is a special day in our RE program. It's the last day of the program year, which is really exciting. But it's not the last day of RE, which is also really exciting. We are finishing our themed programming today, and we are starting our summer programming after next week. So next week we have an all-ages service, and then we start our summer programming. We have some lovely teachers that are very excited to host our summer program, and they're going to need some help. So if you haven't volunteered in our RE program this year, if you've been really busy and you've been thinking about it, but that just doesn't fit with your schedule, I invite you to think about a day that you could help our teachers this summer, and maybe put your name on the sign-up sheet that's outside of RE today, and we will let you know how you can help. So think about it. We need everybody to support, and it's a lot of fun to be with our kids, so just think about that today. And now we'll go and explore our beliefs today. Let's say the Children's Covenant together. In this place I am kind. In this place I am loving. In this place I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
And thank you to Joel Pitney for song leading today. Well done, Joel.
Morning, I'm Shayla Sloper, the Congregational Life Facilitator, and I not only have today's announcements, I have the beauty and the majesty of the snow-capped Cascades just to share as an impression of this lovely place that we live. So welcome to our service this morning, those who are gathered here in person and those who are gathered on Zoom. If this is your first time on Zoom, we have a virtual visitor form that you can fill out. Let us know that you're here, and you can sign up for our communications. And for those who are visiting here for the first time and you think you might want to come back and learn more about our congregation, we hope that you'll sign up for our all-congregation email. Comes out midweek, and it lets you know all of what's going on in the congregation. You can do that at the Connections corner in the gathering hall and also at the visitors table at the front of the building. So I'm just going to start with something that I'm going to end with, and that's just the delight about the Men's Renewal Weekend that happened this weekend. You'll hear a little bit more about it, but this is just an exciting step forward in our congregation. Now today there's a wonderful opportunity. If you have heard about our Fireflies social justice program, which is working to support young children with their literacy and to avoid the summer slide if they're losing their skills, their reading skills, you can participate in Fireflies. In other words, this is a team that welcomes new members, and they're going to be meeting in Linus Pauling after the service to tell you a little bit more about the Fireflies program. So if you're looking for something worthwhile to do and a wonderful group of people to do it with, please stop at Linus Pauling after the service and learn more about Fireflies. And a big thanks to John and Pam Horwich, who have led and carried that program for so many years. For the next 2 Tuesdays, Reverend Scott and the members of the pastoral care team will be continuing their series that we all take comfort in. We are all going to die, so that's the name of the program. So this Tuesday and the following Tuesday are the next and last episodes. This Tuesday, the nuts and bolts of end-of-life planning documents. We're still looking for folks to help with Bend Pride on Saturday, June 1st. There's a sign-up at the kiosk. And some other things that are also at the kiosk, in particular, our Women's Connections group is going through a little bit of metamorphosis, and you're invited to come on Saturday, June 8th, sort of picking up on the energy of the women's gathering that was in April. So that'll be on Saturday, June 8th, and that will be facilitated by Laura Pitney, who also had led the Turning Over Stones women's gathering in April. And Friday, June 7th, we have this wonderful opportunity that the author of the book Rooted, which is our congregational read, is going to be here. So that's Friday, June 7th at 7 p.m. And you need to register in order to come. Now, folks in the public, your friends, can come for $10. And if you are a member of UUFCO, if you have signed our membership book, then you can come for free, but you'll still need to register. You can go to the website, and also there was an email that was sent out about a week ago that gives you a code. You can sign up that way. If you have problems, just ask me, and I'll make sure that you get on that list. Sunday, June 9th is going to be our end of the year celebration. We'll have a salad and sandwich potluck, and our Leadership Development Committee is already in touch with many of you to give a report about how love has impacted lives through the work that you've done through UUFCO. Now, currently, this isn't an exact count. I think we have a salad, a dessert, and a cheese board. Like literally 3 things signed up. So I'm hoping that you'll be inspired to sign up. There's a sign up at the kiosk, and then there's also a sign up in the all congregation email. So as I said, I was going to end with what I started, and I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mike Dorfey, who came up from First Unitarian Church in San Diego, and he was instrumental in helping shape the Men's Renewal Weekend, which I hope is the first annual. So I'm going to welcome Mike here and give you something that we share. Blessings on your day. Mike.
My name is Mike Dorfey. I'm a member of the First Unitarian Church of San Diego, and we have a men's fellowship there that we have renewal weekends from time to time. First of all, I'd like to thank Reverend Scott for your input and your support for this event. This is such a wonderful, beautiful, holy place that you've constructed and fulfill me with the opportunity to express myself. I'd like to have Bob and Duke and Mark stand, and Stephen, please stand up. Remain standing, if you will. And now I'd like to have the rest of the men that are here that have participated in this renewal that we had this in. Please stand. Remain standing, if you will, please, gentlemen. I'll be speaking to you. In addition to your partners and the congregation. This was an incredibly powerful weekend for me. We have done many, many, many of these gatherings, and this was the men that met in the small groups, we call them kinship groups, plumbed a depth that was immeasurable. Thank you for that gift to me for being part of that. I'd like to read a poem written by a man that I did not use last night or yesterday, Joe Camp, dear, dear friend of mine. He wrote this after one of our renewals in the South. It's called A Mist of Histories. And this is what we did, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We dare ourselves to speak, letting secrets part our lips, and before us arises a mist of histories, born on the hot stream of our own hot breath, expanding, entwining, enveloping, molecules of your stories inhaled, molecules of our stories inhaled. You absorb a part of me, and I absorb a part of you. And we are no longer two. We are one. No. We are now three. And we cannot stop ourselves from the joy of it. It has been a pleasure to be with you men.
Thank you. It really was a joy. It was a rich weekend, and it was a good example of good church, good congregational work, in that there was a longing and a desire for depth and for growth into this area, and people got together and took time and intention and created something beautiful that was offered into the community, that was responded to. So whether it's 26 guys showing up at a renewal retreat, or it's filling the gathering hall for our women's connection on a Saturday morning, or it's providing safe space for a queer community on Sunday evening, or our LGBTQ group that's beginning here to explore how that will work into our work, or whether it's fireflies, or it's like almost 60 people showing up to our death class each week. All these things are just a few of the many things that happen in the life of this church. We're grateful that we have created this place together, curious about what it will be in the future, and in that spirit, we draw upon your generosity to support the good work of this congregation. It's a ritual in this congregation. Yes, it's a ritual that we do each week in sharing our joys and our sorrows and our gratitudes with one another. If there's a joy or a sorrow in your heart that you'd like to light a candle for, please feel free to do so. They're on the sides of the sanctuary. Some of them are lit up. Some of them need to start the fire on these over here, it looks like, but that happens. And we also have our written joys and sorrows. These forms are out on the kiosk. You can feel free if there's a joy or a sorrow or a gratitude that you would like to share with the congregation on a Sunday morning. Just fill that out and you can give it to an usher. Dave and Pam McGurn share that we are pleased to announce that our daughter, Amanda, has permanently moved back to Bend. Woohoo! That's awesome. This is from us and we UUs. We have much gratitude for Jamie Villagrana's diligent attention to keeping our space beautiful on the weekends, and that is a gratitude circled. This is from Ludra, I think. Today's gratitude, being here with my son, Adam, and grandson, Cedar. A lovely service. That was written before the service started, so this person has deep and abiding faith and a belief that something good might happen. Thank you for that vote of confidence. Laura Pitney is so grateful my parents moved to the West Coast from Atlanta a year ago. Glad to be able to see them more often and happy they are here for this weekend. And Mom is with us today. Welcome. Mike Reed shares a sorrow. With sadness, I heard on the national news that every year since 2001, 6,000 veterans have taken their lives each year. This is a blemish on our national character. As a faith community, we have got to pitch in to stem the tide. Blessings to our veterans. Indeed. Nancy Stevens shares a joy. I leave to hike 70 miles of the Camino on June 1st. All right. But I'm not surprised, really. That's the kind of thing Nancy does. And a second joy. My brother is doing fairly well. They have figured out how to help him with his negative reaction to the chemo, and I'll be in the Midwest until the end of July to have the ability to go visit my brother as needed. Please continue to send healing thoughts to him, who is having a rough time with the chemo treatments. We will do that, Nancy. And Carol Carlson shares a gratitude. I am grateful for the recovery of my 93-year-old friend from vertigo. I learned and administered the Epley maneuver, and my friend responded well. I don't know what the Epley maneuver is, and perhaps we should all go learn it, because it served Carol and her friend, and that's how that can work. So I'm going to put that on my list for this afternoon. Well, there's one sorrow I think that on this Memorial Day we might all share. The sorrow for the loss of life for those individuals in the armed services who have lost their lives in war or post-war. And so today we remember them and we grieve their loss. We remember those who joined the armed forces by choice. We remember those who joined who didn't feel like they had a choice. We remember those who fought in wars with a noble and just cause, and those that fought in wars that seemed to have no cause at all. We remember those who sacrificed their lives for what they believed in, and those who sacrificed their lives for wars, for something even when they did not. We remember those who have gone missing and never been found or returned to their loved ones. We remember those civilians who have died as simply collateral damage in wars. We remember the loved ones that have been lost and left behind. This morning we pray for world leaders that they make wise and different choices to prevent or to cease wars. We pray for those around the world who are currently suffering from the ravages of war. We pray for the peacemakers, and we might be among them, who strive to end the many conflicts around the world, understanding that we truly are all one humanity. We would be one if we remember, and we do remember, and we continue to work for peace.
Good morning.
This is a reading by Eleanor Roosevelt called Growth That Starts from Thinking. Eleanor Roosevelt, wife of Franklin D. Roosevelt, was active in Democratic politics and helped shape her husband's New Deal programs while he was president. Considered one of the most active and influential first ladies in U.S. history, she advocated racial equality, women's rights, and world peace. It seems to me a very difficult thing to put into words the beliefs we hold and what they make you do in your life. I think I was fortunate because I grew up in a family where there was a very deep religious feeling. I don't think it was spoken of a great deal. It was more or less taken for granted that everybody held certain beliefs and needed certain reinforcements of their own strength, and that came through your belief in God and your knowledge of prayer. But as I grew older, I questioned a great many things that I knew very well my grandmother, who had brought me up, had taken for granted. And I think I might have been a quite difficult person to live with if it hadn't been for the fact that my husband once said, it didn't do you any harm to learn those things. So why not let your children learn them? When they grow up, they'll think things out for themselves. And that gave me a feeling that perhaps that's what we should all must do. Think out for ourselves that we could believe and how we could live by it. And so I came to the conclusion that you had to use this life to develop the very best that you could develop. I don't know whether I believe in a future life. I believe that all you go through here must have some value. Therefore, there must be some reason, and there must be some going on. How exactly that happens, I've never been able to decide. There is a future, that I'm sure of, but how, that I don't know. And I came to feel that it didn't really matter very much, because whatever the future held, you'd have to face it when you came to it. Just as whatever life holds, you have to face it exactly the same way. And the important thing was that you never let down doing the best you were able to do. It might be poor because you might not have very much within you to give, or to help other people with, or to live your life with. But as long as you did the very best that you were able to do, then that was what you were put here to do. And that was what you were accomplishing by being here. And so I have tried to follow that out and not to worry about the future or what was going to happen. I think I am pretty much a fatalist. You have to accept whatever comes, and the only important thing is that you meet it with courage and with the best that you have to give. Thank you.
I believe it was nice to hear the choir and under Verlene's direction. That was really nice. Thank you. One of my favorite stories I've ever heard in all my time of ministry was someone confessing to me that, it was not a confidential story, don't worry. She confessed that she had made a new friend at the gym, and they were getting along famously. And they started going to lunch together, and they started deepening their friendship. And at some point, she said to herself, this fellowship is such a large part of my life. I'd like to share that with her, tell her, but I'm scared to do that. I'm scared of what she'll think if I say I go to a church, because of what I think and I believe about other people who go to church. Because we do church a little different here. If you even call it church, some people call it fellowship life, congregational life. We believe that you can call it different things. But she was hesitant, and she was scared that the other person might judge her in the same way that she was assuming. And so one day she got up the courage, and she wanted to share, and she knew she was going to have to explain then what Unitarian Universalism was, and she hoped that this person could just understand it, could hear what she was saying, that it was different than what you might think about going to a church on a Sunday morning. So she got up her courage at lunch one day and said, hey, I just want to let you know I do this cool thing. I'm part of this community. It's out on Skyline Ranch Road. It's called the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And the person she was having lunch with said, oh, I go there too. Right. That story is a parable, by the way. Go home and think about it. So maybe you had this experience, and if you are brave enough to have that conversation, the next question that follows will probably be either, what is Unitarian Universalism? A question so broad and so big. We talk in this congregation sometimes about having elevator speeches. Marty's been encouraging me to have a class on that, so we'll do that at some point in the future, to figure out how you can talk succinctly about what it is that we do here. Because there's a lot of faiths. We know that a one-word statement to talk about any faith, be it Christianity or Islam or Judaism, is kind of dangerous because you're not going to encapsulate everything and all the different ways of believing. But it's a little simpler with those, and so you might get what is Unitarian Universalism, or you might get maybe an even trickier one, which is, well, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? Can we go back to just talking about maybe the history and like the structure? Because it's a complicated question, or at least it can be. And sometimes when I'm asked that, I jump into this somewhat brief answer that I've come to say over the years around Unitarian Universalism being this progressive religion that's based around values instead of creeds, and that we've evolved over time out of liberal Christianity, and that we gather together to try and do the work of love and justice in the world as we grow and explore together our own individual faiths. Sometimes I'll do that. But sometimes, I've been doing it for a while, yeah. But sometimes, and so I invite you to all figure out an answer, a briefer answer. But sometimes I'll say, when they say, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? I'll say, are you asking me what I believe or what Unitarian Universalists believe? And that generally slows the conversation way down, causes a kind of a blank look on their face, not understanding why those are two different things. Because that's not the way traditional religion functions. Right? One of the things that Theodore Parker did in his ministry was to call that question, what is the function of church? Most churches function to disseminate the capital C truth to the good people, maybe encapsulated in a creed that everybody can say together. We believe. These are our beliefs. And ours functions separately than that. We gather people together to search, to claim small t truths for ourselves, and to explore and find and live out the ways that love works in the world. So let's put this to a test. If I was to say, what are some of the things that Unitarian Universalists believe? What are some things you might say? Silence, that's right. Reflective thinking before we speak, right? Okay, yeah.
Service to others.
Love, service to others.
Inherent worth of all beings.
Inherent worth of all beings.
Equality.
Equality.
Dignity.
Dignity.
Freedom of belief.
What, freedom of belief? That's right. Central to this service.
No one is free until we are all free.
No one is free until we are all free. And justice.
Dialogue is the best way to solve problems.
Dialogue is the best way to solve problems. Compassion. So all these are, that sounds like a religion I'd want to be a part of. I'll sign up for that. And yet, those are all kind of lofty goals and ideals, right? I would join in with pretty much any one of you on any of those ideas. And we could do that work together, and we could call it religious work, yes? But I still don't know anything then about your personal beliefs. What you believe that drives you to do those things. So what if I was to say, whoever's willing, if you believe in like an ism or an ist, like Eleanor Roosevelt said at the end, I think I must be a fatalist. What are some personal beliefs that you might have?
I'm a Buddhist.
There you go. Great example. Thank you, Jameson. Jameson's a Buddhist.
I'm a pantheist.
Pantheist up here.
Cultural Christian.
Cultural Christian.
Tree hugger.
Tree hugger. Agnostic.
I'm a Christian.
Christian.
Naturalist.
Naturalist.
I'm a feminist.
Feminist.
Spirit is higherist.
Spirit is higherist. Yeah, we can make them up here. That's right. That is to be heard of.
Happily confused.
Happily confused. Yeah. That's the positive spin on agnosticism.
Atheist.
Atheist.
Coffee hour helps bind us together.
Coffee hour helps bind us togetherist. Right, so you can see why that's confusing to people when they say, what does your religion believe? And you start talking in lofty goals, and then you start to explain, but we all believe different things. That's how it works, and we like it like that. It's beautiful. It's sometimes messy. It's valuable. It's rich. It's intriguing. And there's so much promise in that. It's pretty open, right? That's a pretty open way to think about religion and pretty different. It doesn't always go like that. Sometimes it's much more constricted. There's once a guy who was about to jump off a bridge. And this guy ran up and said, "Don't do it." And he said, "But I've got nothing to live for because no one loves me." The first guy said, "But God loves you. Do you believe in God?" And the other guy says, "Yes, I do." He said, "Well, me too. Are you a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew?" He says, "I'm a Christian." "Well, me too." "Which denomination?" "Baptist." "Well, me too." "Northern Baptist or Southern Baptist?" He said, "Northern Baptist." We said, "Me too." "Northern Conservative Baptist or Northern Liberal Baptist?" He said, "Northern Conservative Baptist." "Me too." "Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region or Northern Conservative Baptist Eastern region?" And he said, "Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region." He said, "Me too." "Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1879 or Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Council of 1912. And he said, clearly, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Council Region of 1912. And at that, the second man said, "Jump off and die, you heretic." We create more room in this tradition than that. That's a pretty narrow view. And in fact, we've also said we are proud heretics. So that guy would have not, he'd have invited us to jump right off the bat, because we might have led with, we like heretical thinking. One of the things, that, going back to that original question, what do you use believe, that's often said is, well, if that's the case, if somebody came in here and had never heard our faith before, and they heard that conversation, they would have reason to say, well, clearly Unitarian Universalists can believe whatever they want. And so we often say in here, like, you can't believe whatever you want, right? There are some things that just don't square, like fascism, and racism, and sexism, and homophobia, and transphobia. All these things, they just don't jive with the way we believe. So you can't believe whatever you want. But if we say deeds, not creeds, if we say who it is you are in the world is more important than what you believe, it's actually how you show up and the impact you make in the world, then maybe you can believe whatever you want as long as you end up being a nice person. I mean, that's hard to balance sometimes. But no, you can't, really, because we know that it's our beliefs that create our actions in the world. Those two are linked and can't be separated. Maybe better than you can believe whatever they want are those opening words, that it matters what we believe. A belief. I mean, they're tricky things. How do they work? This is a great philosophical question that'll make your head swim. It did mine, as there are different beliefs on beliefs, different ways contemporary philosophers think about and have tried to describe beliefs, which is a very tricky project if you think about it. There are representations of the way that the world could be. There are dispositions to act in a certain way if certain things are true to us. There are interpretive schemes for making sense of someone's actions, or there are mental states that can provide a particular function, or categorized as representationalism, dispositionism, and functionalism, prospectively. For our purposes this morning, I will go with a definition that Stephen Parkin offered me this morning, who is a well-studied member of our congregation, has looked into these things, matters of philosophy and thought, to which he said, we all have beliefs, they do things, that's it. End sermon. As we were running around, that sounded like darn good advice this morning as we were running around getting the service together. All of us have our own beliefs that shape our lives. This set of beliefs affects how we think about ourselves, others, in the world at large. It influences our actions, our emotions, our relationships. Our beliefs make up our internal world that then in turn create how it is we respond and create in the world. Beliefs can be empowering in nature. They can also be limiting in nature. We have positive beliefs that propel us into the future, affirming our lives and our gifts and our talents and our preciousness and our beauty. And we have negative beliefs that prevent us from fulfilling our potential, hold us back, and give rise to negative experiences and thoughts and emotions. And a lot of times, we're just not even simply aware of our beliefs and how they're functioning in our minds. Sometimes it's on automatic. We hope that we've done some good work thinking about our beliefs so that when that does happen, we can say that we have a structure in place that we can trust in some regard. Mindfulness is great for this as you begin to do the process of seeing those beliefs and thoughts at play in our mind, because they're going all the time. Beliefs are generally formed by two ways: by our experiences, our inferences and deductions, or by just accepting what others tell us are true. Most of our core beliefs are formed when we're children, though they can grow and change over time as we learn and as we grow and change. And Eleanor Roosevelt had this experience. She said, "And that gave me a feeling that perhaps that's what we all must do: think for ourselves what we could believe and how we could live by it. And so I came to the conclusion that you had to use this life to develop the very best that you could develop." And I love the way she said that. It gave me a feeling that perhaps that's what we must all do: think it out for ourselves. She didn't say I rationalized it out or I reasoned it out. She said I had a feeling thereby honoring that there are more ways to go by claiming our beliefs than just thinking it through. Sometimes we listen to our bodies. Sometimes we listen to our feelings. So with all this said about belief, what's the role of belief in religion? What if it was nothing? What if there's no place for belief in religion? And that is what Peter Morales said, who used to be the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. He said that belief is actually the enemy of religion. We are so immersed in a culture that views religion as a matter of what people believe, that we think this way, has always been. It isn't. Karen Armstrong points out in this morning's reading, not this morning's reading, that was his morning's reading from his sermon, Beyond Belief. All of this emphasis on what someone believes is actually very modern and very Western. All the emphasis on religion as belief doesn't come on the scene until much later. It started with the Catholic Church and its creeds, but it really got intense with the Reformation. All the emphasis on religion being about believing the right things is really a modern development. It used to be that belief meant what I give my heart to, or what I commit myself to. Belief was linked to emotion and action. Belief didn't mean agreeing with a set of metaphysical principles or theological propositions. And he goes on to make a more radical point, that it is the enemy of religion, and that true religion is about love, not what we think about. That when we claim the absolute truth, then it caps off our ability to wonder, for mystery, for awe, compassion, gratitude, and humility. Creeds stop these cold, he says. Once we think our religion is absolutely right, then we think we have all the answers. We become arrogant, belligerent, and defensive. The key religious questions you and I must answer are these. What do we love so much that we are moved to tears? What gives us unspeakable joy? What brings us peace beyond understanding? What do we love so much that it calls us to action? What do we care about so deeply that we willingly, joyfully devote our lives to it? These, he said, are the true marks of religion. But this makes me think of Theodore Parker's turtle. Where does this belief in love as being noble and worthy even come from? It has to come from somewhere. And I say here then, as good Unitarian Universalists, we employ the scientific method. We have seen love as an experiment repeated in the world over and over and over with positive results. We've seen it work in the world. So I've seen this, and I believe that maybe the answer is a big swirled up pot mess of all of it. It's Theodore Parker's mom's idea of conscience being there, but where did that conscience come from? It was placed there by Theodore Parker's family and his communities. Someone somewhere taught him about that sense of compassion and love for that turtle. It's some of Eleanor Roosevelt's thinking and then acting our best in the world. It's some of Peter Morales' understanding that beliefs can get in the way. And it's also our experience here of the power of claiming our own beliefs and saying, yes, it's important, and you can believe what you are called to believe in the world. So can we believe whatever we want as Unitarian Universalists? No. Yes. Yes. No. Yeah, no. Yes. I think Stephen was right. We all have beliefs. They do stuff. That's it. And if that's true, that is powerful because our beliefs matter, and it matters what we believe. And we believe in love because we can witness and see it in the world. We all have beliefs. They do stuff. That's it. End sermon.
We standing? Yeah, let's stand. Feel free to join in. Crowded table. You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I can be a street light showing you the way home. You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I want a house with a crowded table and a place on fire for everyone. Let us sing on the world while we're all still able, and bring us back together when the day is done. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seed. Plant a little happiness, let the roots run deep. If it's love that we give, then it's love that we breathe. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seed. Yeah, I want a house with a crowded table and a place light a fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're all still able, and bring us back together when the day is done. Door is always open, your picture's on my wall. Everyone's a little broken, and everyone belongs. Yeah, everyone belongs. I want a house with a crowded table and a place light a fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we're all still able, and bring us back together when the day is done. And bring us back together when the day is
Let us say together the covenant of this congregation, which is not a statement of belief. It's a covenant. It's a promise of how we want to act with one another and the world we want to create with each other. Have we done this line? Yes. That's my fault. All right. If you're a visitor, just hang out and listen. And those of us who come more often will do it. All right, ready? Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We all have beliefs. They do stuff. That's it. End service. Go in love and go in peace.